Hey, what's going on, guys? This is PC, and today we're doing a gamer's passion. Long time no see. Basically, we're gonna let the shit go. We're gonna just talk about anything we want to talk about, guys. No subject. Um, so basically, we're gonna start it off. We got Sal, SNK Neo Geo man. Say what's up.
Hey, you doing YouTube?
And okay, we got Super High Tech Gamer, aka Jared. Say what's up, man.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Good to hear from everybody.
And we got Bots of Brand. Say what's going on, man.
What's up? Good to talk to you guys, man.
All right. Now, we're basically going to talk about anything. So if you guys want to go ahead with a subject matter, just let it rip.
All right, what's everybody been playing lately?
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with PC. Let's start with PC because I've been watching a lot of your Twitch stuff, PC, especially your Super Street Fighter and some of your Pokemon.
Yeah.
Man. It's been pretty interesting. Elaborate on that.
Yeah. Thanks, man. I started a Twitch channel and I've been doing that. But recently I've been doing Pokemon videos. Some people on the on YouTube been asking me about some battle strategies and stuff like that. So I've just been doing that. And my real life just been working. So basically, playing wise, the Super Street Fighter Ultra and Pokemon. So that's about it for me.
What about bots? What about bots, man?
I wanted to get on that Ultra Street Fighter, but my PS3 shit the bed a couple months back, and ever since I was playing that arcade 2012. I've been wanting to play Ultra mainly because of Poison and Hugo, but I've been watching some of PC stuff on that. But yeah, I've been wanting to get down on that, but I haven't been able to. But mainly, I've been playing the shooters. Last good one I played was Soldier Blade for the Turbo Graphics. I got that on emulator because I can't afford the damn those damn Turbo Graphics games are ridiculous these days.
Oh,
probably worse than getting worse than Super Nintendo. Well, not box Super Nintendo, but that's a whole fucking story for another time. But yeah, man, some shooters. And last night I was actually playing 1975, and that game's still kicking my ass. I have yet to master the cartwheel technique, so I was trying with the. I was going back and forth.
Yeah, that's pretty difficult game. I don't know what level I had mine on when I was playing. It must have been on level 8. I was like, I don't remember the game being this difficult. I was like, shit, I should have gone first stage without fucking dying. I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
It's a difficult game. I remember, because you can pretty much quarter feed the game until you get to the last stage. Once you get to the last stage, if you die, you gotta start back from the beginning of the stage. That last stage is hard on 75. It's like, I remember playing that back in the day with my friends. It took us a long time to beat. It was pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, I heard that.
But
no, I was just gonna say, I heard about that. When you get to that last boss, they cheap you out on those continues. You got to start over. They just don't let you continue. But yeah.
Okay. Well,
so
Sal.
What about you, Sal? What you been playing?
Actually, I haven't really been playing much other than just doing maybe a couple of reviews. Not really much. I got the Wii U like a couple months back and everything like that. Actually, a few months now. I was playing a little bit of different. I have some games I haven't even touched yet for that. So I just been fucking Netflixing on that fucking thing. So not really. I haven't been playing that much, which is shocking because usually I play a little bit here and there, but I haven't been really playing that much stuff other than just doing the recordings of the overviews and stuff like that. Maybe a little bit of Neo Geo off to the side. Maybe a couple fighting games like King of Fighters and stuff like that. Not much.
Oh, okay.
Thank you, Jared.
It might be Jared.
I don't think so. It might be. I don't know. My computer's.
He's like, okay, mate.
I apologize about any technical issues.
Has there been like any games that you guys been like looking out for, like picking up recently, or in the future?
Can I start with that? One thing I've been interested in. Actually, Wii U. My brother, he brought it by, and we were able to play Mario Kart 8. That is a fantastic game. That is an awesome game. It's really addicting, and like it's really you can tell it is next gen. I mean, graphic wise, it really is. So I mean, I'm not a Nintendo fan, but that is a great game. We had a lot of fun playing it, and the Wii U looks like it's really picking up. So,
well, the thing is that I've only played like once a summer when I went over to a friend's house, and the thing is, it is really fun. It's just one of those things. The only thing I don't like about it, I think they're probably going to patch it or update it, is there's no mapping system for the other player to follow what your other person is doing, which is kind of like the Super Nintendo had all that. Because I haven't played a Mario Kart since like Super Nintendo games, so that I thought was kind of a little confusing, a little bit of cheapness to it. But other than that, graphics, sound wise, and it is an excellent game. It's true. But they patched a little bit more to the game and everything, make it a little bit better. I mean, it could be probably the most perfect racing game that doesn't have any fucking like supercar. Well, other than the Mercedes-Benz DLC and stuff like that, which I think is free, that doesn't have anything huge licensing attached to it as far as vehicles.
No,
like. Go ahead.
No, Sal. I think they actually did patch that whole map thing recently with that whole Mercedes thing.
Yeah, because the thing is the Mercedes thing. I know they did the DLC, which is mostly free, but the thing is the whole map thing was the issue, especially when you're doing competitive play, when you're taking the turtle shells and trying to knock out the person and all. The one guy, like my friend he had a fucking map. I'm like, how the hell are you spotting me? And he's like, oh, well, I have a map. I'm like, well, that's some fucked up shit. I'm like, that's so unfair that, I can't find you. But I think they were trying to patch that stuff up because I think people were bitching and complaining. And rightfully so, because it's kind of like broken. And be able to spot, the person you're competing against. So, but other than that, it's really excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent game.
Yeah, I think so. Has there been any like games like on the homebrew tip that's come out, Sal, that maybe I missed or on the
I know that, I don't know if maybe Chase might be correct. I know there's another Dreamcast game coming out. What the hell is that shit called? I know there's another shooter coming out, which is that I just can't think of the name offhand. So if I think of it, I'll let you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is it that Neo XYX?
No, that's been out. I got that a while. I got that a while ago. It's something. It's another shooter. I'm just trying to think of what exactly. Oh, it's called Raison. That's a new one that's actually started to come out as Raison, which is another shooter. I wish they would change that shit up. I'm getting sick and tired of their fucking shooters. I'm like, because that's all they're making is the NG Devs. But other than that, that's really about it as far as on the homebrew market that I know about.
you know what I wish that they'd do, Sal? I wish if they're going to do these indie games, someone needs to come out with an update or something like Magician Lord. I'd love to see a good, solid, like awesome looking platformer like that on the Neo Geo again.
Well, Jared, let's start the Kickstarter on that one. Let's make sure people donate to us, and we'll walk away with their shit and be like, we've got a problem in development. Thank you for your money, motherfuckers. You know what's funny, though? Actually, speaking about Magician One, did you guys hear it? I was telling Chase this. It's kind of hard to talk over that static and stuff like that, so it's kind of hard to say. Did SNK actually filed the patents, or not patents, but their rights for a new KOF game, which is going to be in 3D. They also filed, I believe, another one. They filed for Last Blade. So actually, SNK is actually working on a couple fighting games as we speak, because they just hired up a bunch of developers, like people who know 3D and are good with that shit within the last year or so. So they've been laying low for a long time, but they finally did some massive hiring in Japan to actually start preparing, I guess, for the current console. So sometime, probably in the next year or two, there's probably going to be another KOF in 3D and a Last Blade in 3D.
Wow.
already, but they're kind of like because they've been making the pachinko machines and stuff like that, but they wanted people who were experts. And they put the ads out. I saw the ads for them asking for people's resumes. If they're high tech and doing 3D modeling, so they want to produce games again, which is actually kind of funny because as Capcom is sinking, SNK is trying to pull themselves and bring themselves out of the shadows and start dropping some software.
And when did this start happening, Sal?
This is about maybe within the last year or so that they've actually hired a lot of programmers. Like they went on like a massive hiring. It wasn't like they were hiring. They needed like maybe like about 30 people for one project. They needed like another 30 for another people. So they were really like doing some hiring that for people who were excellent using 3D technology. That's what they wanted. People who are good at 3D. So the 2D stuff, like with King of Fighters 13, isn't going to be there. They're mostly focusing on 3D. So that I much know. And I heard a couple games that are at least last played as a KOF game.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay, man. Well, I hope that last blade definitely comes.
Absolutely, because that to me is absolutely incredible. Yeah, but look around like on the internet, and you'll see that if you put in for like maybe ads or whatever, if we type it in, you'll see that they've started to do a big hiring within the past like year or so. Yep.
Oh wow. Is there
Nice.
how do you guys feel about that Capcom situation?
Oh, they did it to themselves.
Oh man.
If I do that shit, they're gonna be on the suit line.
That was mean, Sal. Sal, that was mean, man.
Which is fucking right, yeah.
Sorry, guys.
They were singing. No Mega Mans, no nothing. They weren't coming out with shit. They weren't
Can
coming out
you guys give me an update? I don't know. What's going on with Capcom? I'm out of the loop. Can you guys elaborate?
Them up on the soup line. Them big fuckers are they're doing really poorly.
Yeah.
I've been hearing about that for months. They only got like 150 million in the bank. Like to us, that's like a lot of money. But to a company like that, they've been asking for people to actually buy like a percentage per company to keep them afloat. And a lot of people were hoping it would be Nintendo to do it because Nintendo would have all exclusives like Street Fighter, Mega Man, because they know Nintendo would have made Capcom bring out the necessary titles that people were looking for.
Yeah, like Mega Man and stuff like that. Yeah, that sucks.
They need to, they just need to get back on track and like produce stuff that people want. Because the thing is like I'm a Resident Evil fan. Resident Evil 6 was kind of shit. Well, not kind of shit. To me personally, it was a lot of shit. But when you think about it, as much money as went into that game and the payoff. I don't want to say the box office numbers, but you think that the pros and cons, how much they put into it, how much they got back. That's just damn. And the thing with that is they compromised too bit. They were trying to like make the game too much of a blockbuster, and they changed some of the combat system. Ever since 4, they went that action approach, but they changed it up more in 6, even more so than 5. The narrative, they had an opportunity to bring Chris, Leon, all these characters together. They introduced new characters like Wesker Sun. Basically, I'm just saying, to me personally, it was wasted potential. And then you look at the whole Mega Man Legends 3 shit. They canceled that. They said they let down fans. Then you got Mega Man showing up in the new Smash Brothers, and then the whole Mighty Number 9. That's all Kickstarter shit. It just seems like if they go back to just taking those small baby steps and just at least giving us what we want or what they're known for, I think they could get out of this hole a lot quicker. But what I'm saying is they could make lower budget titles like a Mighty Number 9 Mega Man type of game and do good. But if they're going to keep putting all their funds into these blockbusters like Resident Evil 6 and they're falling flat, I don't know, man. Because we probably talked about it last time. The magic of Capcom in the 80s and 90s is gone. And it seems like now, instead of being innovative, they're just kind of trying to adapt, which is a shame. And speaking of that, Jared, did you play or did any of you guys actually play the new Strider?
No.
Oh, yes. I have it. I downloaded it. And the reason why I did is because actually one of my old friends I found out was a developer of that game, if you guys can believe it.
Wow.
That's sweet, man.
Yeah, the name of that group is called Double Helix. They're the ones who actually developed the new strain, and they tried to kind of harken back to a lot of the elements of the old 8-bit. I think it really is more like the 8-bit than the arcade game, but it's interesting. It's interesting. It's by no means is it. I mean, gonna be like. I think that game is better than the original, but I mean, it's they try. They tried to do something, and so for that I gave them props. But it's not nothing old like you said. Bottom, the Capcom magic, that kind of thing is kind of at least for me, and that's you just wherever you can get like good games, you just kind of have to get them, cherish them, keep them.
Definitely, because to me again, like the same reason I've been playing Ultra Street Fighter 4. My PS3 got the yellow light, and before I didn't buy Strider, but I did play the Capcom. But like a week later, the PS3 shit the bed anyway. But from when I played the demo, I liked it. But the thing was, I'm glad you made that comparison back to the 8-bit, the regular Nintendo version, because the new one seems like it's got more of those Metroidvania elements, which personally, I've never. Like, I played Metroid 1. I really never liked it too much. Super Metroid, I still haven't played, which I'm still looking forward to. But games like that, and Symphony of the Night, I played that back in the day. I'm not too much of a fan of that style of gameplay. But with the new Strider, I can see that it still seemed like a fun, good action game. But like you said, going back to the Nintendo version. Now, I personally would have liked if they just would have made a remake straight up at the arcade. Because to me, especially recommending the arcade to younger guys that didn't grow up with it like we did, because that's one of those games you can easily be blinded by nostalgia. Because back in the day, Strider was the shit, but like now, it still kind of suffers from a little bit of choppy controls, which I can let that slide. But it's like you're saying, like I don't really care for the Metroidvania experience because the original Strider, it was one of those games that could like keep up with your imagination. It was just nonstop action. It was just off the wall. It's like you didn't need a map. You just went through. Literally, you go through the game as fast as possible. And that's not a fault. That's kind of the charm to the game. But I would have liked to see like updated controls, and especially with the HD Coda paint on it. But then again, I haven't played the new one. I've just played the demo. But from when I played the demo, it definitely seemed like a good game. And in the right step in the right direction. But again, it's like bringing back Strider. I don't know how many people in the current gen were aware of the old one, aware of the new one. I don't know if it made much money for them, but it definitely seems like a step in the right direction. But then again, if they do smaller releases like that, I think that would be a better move than like putting all their eggs in one basket with Resident Evil 6. Because I don't know if you guys are Resident Evil fans or if you even played Resident Evil 6, but to me it was just it was a waste of potential and pretty much an obvious waste of funds.
But you aren't the only one who felt that. A lot of people felt that one because that's why I got like rated bad, and a lot of people were trashing Capcom at the time. But getting back to Strider, I've seen a lot of gameplays for it. I wasn't too keen on it, seeing it, because the game looked too dark. There was a lot of darkness in the game, I guess, and then there was like the only really bit of little color was really a Strider himself and a couple other things. I think it's okay, but it's just one of those games where, like you said, that harkens back to the 8-bit Strider rather than the original art one, even though there's like bits and pieces of it, but it wouldn't be a Strider that I would have been interested in, because I would have been way more interested in the Genesis or the arcade version.
I agree with you, Sal. I totally agree with Sal. One thing I want to ask are you guys, do you guys, like now, like when they remake a game series, when they remake a game, what I find is that, like say, like Castlevania. I don't know if any of you guys are Castlevania fans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think everybody is. Everybody is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we all are. But what I find is like, now they make like the Castlevanias, and what it really is a whole totally different development team. They might not even be nowhere near related to like the original team, and so it's kind of like a whole other vision of the game. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. Is that really like a remake, or is that someone else's reimagined series?
I don't know. I'm proud to say it's like
which one?
Yeah, are you talking about the new one on like the 360?
What do you think is the best generation PC? What's the best generation Castlevania?
It's Symphony of the Night or Dracula, what was it? Dracula X, Rondo of Blood on the PC
Yeah,
engine.
those are old. Yeah, those are the old.
Yeah,
But are
those.
there any new ones that are good?
People said that the first 3D one on the Xbox 360 was good, but to me it looked like God of War.
Yeah.
So
It was. I mean, that game looked incredible, like graphic wise for the PS. I had it for the PS3, but honestly, I got rid of it. I played like 2 or 3 hours into it. I've never been. I like the God of War games, but I never have finished any of them. I mean, I like that action, but yeah, that new Castlevania. And I was going to ask the same thing, Jared, if you're referring to that or some of the like DS or 3DS versions. But yeah, it's basically like a God of War clone. But and I normally don't like that style of gameplay. But again, going back to the Wii U, if you guys want like a good God of War, Devil May Cry game, Bayonetta 2 is going to be a Wii U exclusive.
oh yeah,
That game's fun as shit, but the first one was bad shit crazy. I mean, honestly, the story was kind of just, I don't want to say fucked, but it was out there. But the game made up for it. I mean, and the gameplay was solid. So definitely, if all you got, I was gonna say, especially if y'all, yeah, they're gonna with the updated graphics and everything. But yeah, Sal, Jared, I think all three of you got Wii U's, but I was gonna say definitely pick that one up. But as far as Castlevania, I don't know, man. The last one I really got into. Well, I really can't think of one now, but anything too modern. But going back to Bloodlines for the Genesis, that was one that and Hardcore. There was a Contra game. I skipped those way back when, but going back to them now, Bloodlines is definitely a solid game. And the old like original, and then Rondo of Blood. But yeah, I'm like PC. I mean, Symphony of the Night, I haven't played it too much. Besides when you beat Dracula, get your shit taken away. But Rondo of Blood, definitely. That's that's Konami, not Capcom. But at least these companies go back, just make a 2D Castlevania. Make that whip shit.
they don't want to do
That's
that.
what we asked. Yeah, why can't we just get our old school with some new high res and that's. I don't understand why they don't do that. I think
because it won't make enough money for them, probably. Because the thing is that like on my Wii U, one of the first downloads I actually bought from their virtual console, well, not the virtual console, because that's the old Wii. But one of the things I actually downloaded, 2 games were Super Castlevania fucking 4 and Contra 3 Alien Wars. So I downloaded those 2 games because I'm like, okay, this is what I want to play, but you're not going to really get any of these Castlevania type of stuff, because they're trying to cater to a different crowd nowadays. You don't have the same crowd that you had many years ago. So, if it's not containing certain elements that were initially, in the PlayStation 2 era, a lot of people might not be interested. And like I said, if they do, it might be like a Kickstarter or like a downloadable, like Strider, kind of just that little thing just for the fans, and then that's it. But they're not going to concentrate on making a full-fledged game.
Yeah, I think right now I'm more excited about indie developers than the major third parties, just because the indie developers, they seem a lot more free, when when it comes to making games. Like, have you guys played Shovel Knight?
No, I want to download that.
That game is amazing. It's amazing. It plays kind of like Castlevania and Mega Man.
Yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, because from what I've seen, that looks top. That's exactly what we've been talking. That's what we're looking for. And I haven't played it, but from what I've seen, that looks top notch.
Yeah.
But see, here's the thing with a game like that. It's a game that, appeals to only a certain group of people. If it ain't, and they purposely, one thing that, like, I agree with Jose, what he said, is just going towards the indie stuff, is because them cats are hungry. Like, they have to make sure that shit survives, because if they don't put a lot of heart and soul and a lot of effort into it, then the thing is that it's not like a big company they can just say, oh, and just fluff it off. They depend on that type of stuff. And like he said, Shovel Knight, that harkens back purposely, like, to the Mega Mans, the DuckTales, the Castlevania type of stuff and all that. And that's why I was going for, I don't know if it in price, but it was going for like $50. It was pretty expensive, considering. But it was games like that for, like, the old heads who like that stuff and trying to get a lot of the newer guys into it. But I don't know if a lot of the newer guys, like the younger, like, you have your your millennials and your Gen Yers that might get into that. So I don't know, but it is a fantastic year. I'm hearing rave reviews from that.
Yeah, it is really good. Really, really good.
Oh,
No, go ahead, Sal.
okay. Oh, by the way, I was looking up that SNK thing. What they did was is that they filed the registration. So the games that they had listed was The Last Blade, King of Fighters, and Athena Azamiya, Beastbusters, which is a shooting game that they had way back in the day, and then a couple others. That's the ones that they had registered violence for, so nobody can trademark those games because they probably expired for the trademark. So those were the games that they filed thus far. Just to let you guys know.
Yeah, remember Beastbusters? That predates. Was it? What's the game? Haunted? It's House of the Dead. Yeah, remember that sound with all the zombies and stuff like that?
Yeah, I got that for this.
That'd be a badass game.
Yeah, Beastbusters is old school. Beastbusters, I know a Beastbusters version came to the Neo Geo Color. I know one came to there, but I have never played a Beastbusters. I haven't played it. Never played
Yeah, they were awesome. Yeah, like with the original one, because they had some gun games. I probably bought some, Operation Wolf, which is made by Taito. That was an arcade gun game and had an Uzi, and the Uzi would actually recoil, so as you're shooting. And then SNK, of course, back in the day, companies would, they'd pretty much kind of fight each other, kind of copy each other. And so SNK brought out Mechanized Attack, which was a gun game that had 2 guns instead of 1. And then Beastbusters was the third game. That one was like 3 Uzis, and you shoot like basically zombies and undead and all that stuff. It was a badass game. So that would be a really good remake.
Yeah.
If SNK brings that property back today with all this zombie craze, no.
Yeah, absolutely. That's why I had to research and get that information because I knew it was a shooting game that they were harking back. See, that's what I like when companies go back and go use these franchises and utilizes them, because the thing is, it's a shame that they don't take advantage, like you guys are talking about, like Castlevania and stuff like that, and Strider and all, and tried to make it, harken back to the old days. But of course, updated graphics and all that other dumb shit. Now, if they start doing that, and they start bringing these titles out, then I'm going to consider buying, like a PS4, no Xbox, of course, but a PS4 I would buy just to get, a lot of those titles and stuff like that go back in the day. That'd be definitely worth it for me. So by the time those would come out, the price would already have dropped.
Yeah.
So, yeah, absolutely.
Now, Sal, I haven't been keeping up to date on the Neo Geo, prices and stuff like that. Are they still rocket ass high, or are they coming down?
Fuck no, them things are triple now. Because I want to buy Last Blade 2 and I want to buy Garou for the AS. But not now because I had some financial stuff going on that I took care of that. But the prices are just ridiculous. They will never go down. I think if you're watching, any of you guys were watching my overviews, I was talking about Nom 75, and even Jared was like, this is completely surprised that a game like Nom 75, that game, normally they used to give them motherfuckers away. They couldn't give it away. Giving away like a Happy Meal. They buy a Nom 75 part of a Happy Meal, 50 cents more, you get a Magician or Ninja Combat with that. I mean, now those games are, you're talking a Nom 75 is going close to that $100. And don't let me tell you about, and as far as Chase is told you, or Boss is telling you, is the MVS version is going for stupid money. It's going for absolutely stupid money, like over $100. And these are games that were a dime a dozen. Go ahead, Jared.
Yeah, what I was going to say, but you know what? $100 is actually reasonable. That's how crazy new prices are. $100 is reasonable. Oh my God, yeah, it's insane.
Instead of for inflation.
There's fucking inflation going on, all right. Because I was saying, since the last time I was on y'all's podcast, I actually got an AES system, and it came with Samurai Showdown 2. And I actually bought Nam 1975 online for like, I think 45 shipped, and it was the new old stock. But like, see, I knew that the games, God forbid I was going to try to get, Garu or Last Split for AES. The thing is, even the cheap titles like Magician Lord, Super Spy, all the early gen titles, I was expecting, or at least hoping, they would still be cheap enough to pick up at reasonable prices. But yeah, like Super Spy, Magician Lord, they're hovering around $60, $75. Ninja Combat, you mentioned earlier, I'd love to have that one. That one's usually like $100 on eBay. And I mean, it's getting. I know the high-end games, the ones that are actually rare, they're probably still holding their price or creeping up. I haven't checked on them in a while. But as far as the early gen titles, they used to be, you could get like 7 to 10 of them and a lot on eBay for $200. Probably more games than that. Yeah, you're not seeing that shit anymore. The only one I found for a deal locally was Top Players Golf for like $25. And I would say that's a deal, but there's a reason I got that game for a deal, because it's not that good. But as far as the others, man, it's becoming a damn shame. But go ahead. So
here's the thing. Here's the thing about today. You got thing is that. Is it the U.S. version or the Japanese version? Because the U.S. versions are commanding higher prices now. And the thing is because everybody and their mother wants those U.S. titles, so they're jumping up, and the Japanese ones are still hovering around a little bit lower we can get them, though.
That's true. And the Samurai Shodown I've got is Japanese. The system, the AES I've got actually is Japanese. But yeah, for some reason, Fatal Fury 1 is like $100 plus, usually for the U.S. version. The Japanese version is a little bit cheaper. But for the most part, like Fatal Fury 2, Fatal Fury Special, I can still pick those up because those are like $40 shipped on eBay from Japan. But even though, Jared, I'm glad you made that point, because even though they're not as cheap as they used to be, I should have jumped the gun earlier. Because like, I'm not expecting to collect for the AES. I would just like to get those early gen titles because it's still the arcade experience at home. But like you mentioned, even though they are around $100, that's still, it is high, but in a way it is kind of biased, because I look at it, those original games, retro in general is cheaper. But even if I bought Nam 1975 back in the day when it was new, that's like $200, $250. The games are still holding their value, but it is a shame to see mainly for the lower ones. Like I said, originally when they came out, they were a lot more expensive, but on the same token, like Sal was saying, they used to give them away in Happy Meals. I mean, so the whole thing's kind of creeping up in general. But,
yeah. And one thing that's kind of sad for me, though, like you said, you just got Samurai Showdown 2 for the UGO AES. Like, that's one of the best games for the system, and it's like in the lower price range. That's one of the best games. So it's kind of like that's the deal to me. If you can pick that up, and play that game, that's one of the best games, and it's very, at least last time I checked, it was pretty affordable if you bought the Japanese version.
Yeah.
So to me, that's still great value. That's still a great deal. It's a great game still.
I mean, but over $100 for Nam 1975 though.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
That's crazy.
No, thank you.
Yeah, Jose's like having a fucking heart attack.
No, thank you. No, thank you.
Dude, $100 for. I was gonna say like $100 for Top Players Golf. If it ever gets that high, ooh, yeah, it does. But
that's the thing is that like I always kick myself like a couple of these games that are coming out and all like I kick myself because I was like they were too expensive a couple of years ago. Now I sit back and look, I'm like shit, I should have bought them because I'm like $500, $600, $700. I'm like that's fucking crazy and all that. Now these games are like $1,000, $1,200, $1,500, and without even blinking an eye, that's just like the standard prices for a lot of these games. And like Batu was saying that as the Jews and popularity, I'm actually super thrilled that it's really gotten popular as hell. But the problem though is that with popularity comes supply and demand. Therefore, that's why these prices are going up. Just like anything retro, trying to buy any of that shit, the supply and demand. People are like, these suckers are going to buy this shit. Then the thing is, we're going to make sure we raise the prices because if they want it, they're going to still buy it.
Yeah. And that's crazy how like the prices are really jumping up. like that. Like you say, Sal, it's just like you say. If more people like learn about it, the more people want it. So yeah, even the common games are starting to get pretty expensive, which it sucks.
It's a shame because like if you saw, I don't know if you saw Johnny Millennium's what do you call it, Happy Console Gamers, and you were talking about the TurboGrafx 16. Now to me that system was garbage, absolute garbage. The PC Engine, an excellent system, but he was telling that some of the games on that system are going for hundreds and hundreds of dollars, and even in the thousands. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, no. It's just like for Neo Geo game, I could see spending like a lot of money because you're getting one hell of a quality game. But even the TurboGrafx 16, things like that have gone like really out of hand.
Yeah, but when PC can sell a Buster Douglas for the Master System,
Hey.
trade that get a bad
No. Wait. That's actually genuinely like one of the rarest Sega Master System games. Like I think it's like the second rarest on the system. So
yeah.
that was
Actually, it probably is. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was just saying, what would you rather? I don't care how rare Buster Douglas is. I'd rather.
Oh no. I played it one time. That game was so fucking garbage. I put it in my system one time and I played it. I took it out immediately. I was like Punch Out shitted on this game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but it's rare. It's rare. Whoa,
yeah,
rarity.
It is rare. How are the prices? Go ahead, Bossy.
You've actually got a PC?
No, I used to have it. I used to have it, a complete copy. Yeah, I sold that thing like immediately.
Yeah, that really is. Yeah, hopefully you made bank off of it because that like really is like the rarest game.
Yeah.
I think the rare one might be rare is like Sonic for the Master System.
Yep.
But if you look into that, the only difference is like a sticker on the back of the box. Literally, that's the only difference.
Yeah, I sold it for a good amount of money.
See, that's good. I'm glad, man, because like you said, I mean, unless you were trying to go for a whole Master System collection, you don't want that shit in your collection.
No.
But sell it to the people that are going to pay crazy prices like that in Earthbound and everything. But man, like, I guess to close on that, I mean, if anything, just go MVS because it's affordable. You'll be able to afford any of the Metal Slug games. On AES, it's just out of bounds. And even, I mean, like you said, even the TurboGrafx, that appeal of retro, I'm guessing it's rubbing off on Neo because, like I said, the Magician Lord is a great game. And it kind of, even though all that new old stock was found and they were cheaper at a time, it kind of does justify the price. But the same token, like top players go off Writing Hero, there's no reason those should be like, hundreds of dollars.
How are the prices on the Neo Geo X lately? Like I've seen some of them go up.
Well, I don't know very much about it. I don't know. Maybe Sal knows, but I haven't really been.
Yeah, the prices have increased because of the bullshit with SNK and Tomo. So, I mean, there hasn't anything come out because it's been, like, everything's been on a silent front, but the prices have increased drastically. Like, in order to get a Neo Geo X complete, you're spending, like, that close to, $250, $300 because I guess they figure because of the cease and desist order from SNK that, wow, this thing is now rare. We're going to charge off a storm for it. So that's about the last thing I've seen on. That was actually only maybe about 2-3 months ago where I've seen prices. They hovered around the $300 mark. Yep.
Wow. Are they coming out with any more packs, game packs, or no?
Hell no. Until they settle out this fucking bullshit with, and I think it's SNK's fault, to be honest with you. Until they settle this thing out, by the time they settle this thing out and they let it go through the legal system and stuff like that, man, the patents probably have run out and everybody would have forgotten about it. And so it's a way of SNK cock-blocking Tomo, and basically by the time everything gets itself together, nobody will have the interest in the X. And that's what I think SNK was trying to do, is they couldn't hurt them financially or anything like that because they have the contracts. But if you hold them up in the legal system, then the problem, though, is that everybody will nobody's going to have the interest anymore. Only maybe like a handful of people. So SNK is pretty smart trying to actually just basically block them and just tie them up in the legal system. So everything, it won't be relevant anymore. Because to be honest with you, even if a new pack came out, how relevant is it going to be? I don't think anybody's going to really care about it.
Yeah,
We're only like a handful.
The thing about those packs, I mean, they pretty much put on all the best games for the system I can think of. I mean, the volume pack has. I'd have to get the case, but it has like some of the best games on it. I don't see what else they can put out. They have all the best A1 titles on the Neo Geo on that pack, so I don't really see why they would even need to bring out another pack. I think pretty much that the Neo Geo X is a tribute system. It's nothing more than that, and it's just a way of just having kind of holding that brand in a way. I don't really understand why they had that big fight. It's like, I mean, the Neo Geo is niche. It's like kind of like a forgotten thing. Only, not very many people are still trying to get SKs. So,
I mean, Jared, Jared, do you still play yours?
Oh yeah, I still have it plugged in. I played it yesterday actually. PC.
The only guy playing it.
This is the only guy who's playing it.
We found one.
I still play it. Oh yeah, and like I said, like if you play the handhelds, I still stay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean,
As a handheld, I think it's still justified, and I would pick one up if I could find one at the right price. Definitely.
Yeah, that was the thing. They were trying to I wasn't going to buy the actual full set when it had it with the joysticks and all that. I was waiting for the handheld that was supposed to come out for maybe $1.29, or $1.30, whatever it was supposed to come out at. And because of the shit going on, that never came to fruition. But I wasn't interested in the actual full set. I was more interested in just the handheld, and I would just buy the little SD fucking cards, like the multi-pack that Jared has. So the thing is that's the only interest I would have. I would have supported it, definitely, but not as a full system. I don't need another fucking system. I'm like, I would just do it as a handout and just a way of, saying, okay, I support you. There you go. Because it wouldn't have been that much money for the handheld,
Yeah, that actually brings up a good point. Yeah. Well, I just cut out now, but I was hearing it. But yeah, you mentioned that sound. Like, I don't even know if they released it solo, because I know in the beginning they were hyping up. You get the charge station, the joystick, and if you pre-order, you get the Ninja Masters SD card. And I don't know if they've actually released anything besides that system. But Jared, let me ask you this: do you have the Mega Pack or the SD card that came out with this like an AES case with all the games on it?
Oh yeah. That's okay. Yeah, the thing about that, which is kind of cool, is you have the Mega Pack and it's actual Neo Geo AES snap case. So if you want to carry your Neo Geo X handheld around, it's like a little slot. You can put it in the snap case. You can put your charger in the snap case, and you can put actually your Ninja Master's SD card in the snap case, and you can just carry it around like that. So it's like, man, it's like a neat little case that you can actually use to carry it around, because you don't need to have the docking station. If you have that, you have the new quick charge. So at first, the docking station was used as a recharge for your Neo Geo handheld, but now with that little quick charger, you don't need to have the docking station. So if you don't want to use the docking station, if you don't want to do a TV, you can have it just as a regular handheld and have plus games.
Yeah, that does seem cool to have it in the snap case with the charge cable in your games. What I was going to ask you is, for the Mega Pack that came in that snap case, is it one SD card or is it several? Because I know they split them up. They were like in cardboard boxes, like volume 1, 2, 3, 4. Then they did the whole collection in the snap case. But is it one SD card or is it split out among several?
It's just one. It's just one.
Even better, because if you just got the one card in the snap case with all the pre-built games, for a handheld experience, if it's just one SD card, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, see, because you already have the 15 original. I'd have to get, but I believe you get 15 original games that are already preloaded. So once you get that the mega volume pack, which is like boasts 4,100 megs or something like that. So once you upload that, then you have all those new games like Kazuna Encounter, Marvel, stuff like that. So yeah, so it's all like in that neat little compact unit, that you can just take on the go. That's what the appealing part, at least to me, is just to have that. And then whether you hook it up, the results is what how you hook it up to the TV, the way it looks. That's where the debate happens. But other than that, I like it still.
Nice.
Let me ask you guys a question.
The criticism. He
Sounds like fuck that thing.
No, I support people buying it, but everybody and their mother wanted to harp on it, wanted to make videos of unboxing of it, and then as soon as they're playing, they want to make videos about how much they hate it. I'm like, everybody was on the bandwagon, and everybody was trying to expect it to be this magnificent for $200 fucking dollars. Like, maybe she would yes. I'm like, what are you thinking? I'm like, I think the X, in a lot of ways, I was telling bots this, I think the X actually bolstered the sales of the actual original AES stuff, because they're like, fuck this, we may as well invest in the actual original hardware, so it probably boosted, the sales of the AES and the MVS stuff. But that was a lot of bandwagon. A lot of people really enjoyed it, but a lot of people were trying to jump on and shit, so, yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely not a replacement. Nothing. What beats the original?
It's just a snack.
Yeah.
I get you. Now, guys, I have a question for you guys. Me and a friend was debating about this. Do you guys think that there is a third-party Nintendo conspiracy? Meaning that ever since the Super Nintendo, huh?
Nintendo's been pissing people off since the 80s. Even when they tried to monopolize the fucking the land back in the day, until people had to figure out a way to rename themselves to get the hell around their monopoly. So Nintendo always actually had a really foul placement with third party. It just got worse when they hit around the GameCube era, around the N64 GameCube era, and for some reason, because Nintendo has got a big head, they realize that their franchises alone are system sellers, which is true. As you see, Mario Kart 8 and things like that, they're system sellers. So they figured that why do we need to depend on these people when we have our own IPs and we don't release them anywhere else? So fuck third-party development. Whereas the other two, or the other platforms, they rely on it because Sony, Microsoft, what the fuck do they have to offer? They don't even, a lot of them don't even, other than Halo for Microsoft, Sony doesn't even use half of their IPs. I haven't seen a Crash Bandicoot game in, I don't know, fucking 20 years. I mean, so the thing is that, seriously, in other words, there's no, I think that's where it came from. I'm not guaranteeing it, but I think that's probably what happened is they might have had some issues with them because Ubisoft has basically dropped support.
Yeah.
They're not putting out shit the way. And the point is, it's sad because the point is that Nintendo has the only franchises that are truly relevant and that are super, system sellers that you can understand because most of the other games, you can get the real versions on the PCs. So what the fuck do you need an Xbox One or a PS4 when you can buy half this shit on Steam and stuff like that? Whereas Nintendo stuff is exclusive, but it seems that support just dropping left and right, and it's pretty fucking bleak that and I expected this to happen too. Like I was arguing with you. We were not arguing. We were talking about that shit, PC. That this Nintendo ain't having that much good luck with this system because it's probably from past practice benefits. I can't guarantee it, but it's probably what it's from.
Yeah, I mean, well, something like that, Sal. Like, do you, knowing that you're not going to get a lot of third party for the Wii U, is it like a regret? Do you think that you bought the system, or no?
To be honest, no, because when I was what's funny is I bought the system maybe about a week or so before E3, so it wasn't like I bought it after E3. So what happens is that their E3 showing was dynamic. I mean, I have to admit, and everybody was like, "Oh, in the corner, oh, fuck you," and all this other type of shit. But they realized that Nintendo kicked the shit out of Sony and Microsoft. Let's just put it that way. They beat the shit out of them. Not only was they playing making fun of themselves, Nintendo, their lineup was pretty strong. I mean, but the problem though is it does make a difference because let's say if I went to play a game like Mortal Kombat or X or whatever the fuck old, you won't be able to play things like that. That in a lot of ways is Street Fighter. The Street Fighter, let's say if they decide to ever come out with Street Fighter fucking 5, which is probably never, but the thing is that you won't be able to play things like that. So, everybody's abandoned it, and it doesn't make a regret, but it's unfortunate. That's the thing. It's not a regret because they have some excellent games, but it is quite unfortunate, yes.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think about that, Bata? Do you think that there's a Nintendo conspiracy, and if so, how do you feel about it?
Oh man, there's well, I mean, I love Nintendo. Don't get me wrong, but ever since the '64, they've kind of had their head up their ass, and it's like if you go back and look at the third-party games for the NES, Super Nintendo, like it was there, and of course they had those illegal business practices where they limited it, the number of releases, and you can't deny they fucked over like the Master System, the Turbo Graphics, the Genesis to an extent early on. But they didn't have that third-party support. When the 64 rolled around, you had the template of Mario Kart, Smash Brothers. You had those first-party games, which are damn good games. You can't knock them. I'm not trying to say negative things about them at all, but that's what they depend on now. And I think it reflects now because even with the controllers, you look at the 64 controller, the GameCube controller. I think that's the loosest example. But then you got the Wii and the Wii U, the motion controls. The first-party games are best with those controllers, and they make or break those games. I mean, you needed the 64 controller, even though people shit on it. You needed that game for Mario 64. It's a great game, great experience. Same thing with all these new games. The controllers, the first party, that all ties together. But as far as third party, I mean, they don't have that monopoly the same way. And even, I guess, going back, like I would say if the 64 would have been disc-based, maybe Final Fantasy VII would have been on a Nintendo system, but honestly, I don't know if it was that or if it was Square just wanting to get away from their business practices. Because Final Fantasy VII was obviously a big impact and helped Sony, took it to the next level. But Nintendo, they started losing those franchises like that. They went to Sony, and now you affiliate Final Fantasy with other systems besides Nintendo. And basically, to jump forward, I mean, the Wii didn't have the third-party support, and it could have been underpowered. I don't mind Nintendo being underpowered. Like, a lot of people were giving the Wii U shit about it not being a true next gen or kind of bullshit like that. And honestly, when you look at the PS4 and the Xbox One, sure, they're next gen, but they're really not needed. The Wii U is exactly what you need because moving forward, that's why those systems are floundering because you need the games, you need the software to support the hardware. But on the same token, it's like, how much more graphics can we get? It's all ever since the games, again, going back to Neo Geo, once you drop the 2D for the 3D platform, it's the same shit with just shinier paints a coat each time. That's why I think Mario 64 still stands up. It was a prime example of how to do 3D right, and you can add in those new coats of paint or whatever. But I guess going back overall, the third-party support, mainly the Wii U, hopefully it will get it better with the third party, but honestly, I think my biggest gripe with Nintendo now moving forward is that they're stingy. They know their first-party games are going to sell, and they've been hesitant on online play from the past. You look at the Wii compared to the PS3 and Xbox 360, the online, that's what hurt them the most. Because like the Call of Duty games, those games are just interchangeable. You're paying for the online, you're paying for the new map. The games, once those games are off the shelves, it doesn't matter. You're not going back for the story modes for those games, even if they put Kevin Spacey in them. I mean, it's the online, it's the kids playing what's current and what's new. But like with Mario Kart 8, I haven't played 8. I want to play it, and I probably will pick up a system for that game because I played the shit out of Mario Kart 7 and the ones before it. I mean, they're just good games. The sad thing is they're finally starting to nail the online capability. And Mario Kart 8, it finally is like a true HD system and HD game by Nintendo. And sure, it's a couple years late, but at the same time, you look at the success of Mario Kart 8. I mean, it's putting the Wii U on the map. It's increasing sales. It's printing the money, basically. But at the same time, Nintendo's been stubborn about it. I mean, with the 3DS and the Wii U, they need to pump out if they're just going to do first-party games, fuck third-party, honestly. They just need to get this shit out and rolling. Because Mario Kart 8, it took them, a year, 2 years to get this shit on the shelves. But once it does, it gives them the acclaim. I don't mind the acclaim because it's justified, but they can't get a big head about it and be like, oh, we're just going to wait for the other first-party games. I mean, they need to keep moving shit out. And I'm not saying they're at a slow pace now, but it kind of went back to what Sal was saying. It's like if you look at the PS4 and the Xbox One, sure, you can get the PC experience is a better experience, and you can get that shit on Steam. But for me personally, I'm not a PC gamer. I'm a console player. I just I've always enjoyed that method. Say what you want about it. We could all be playing all the Neo Geo games free on emulators. Even if you want to bitch about the quality or whatever, but still, it all goes back to you want to play the original stuff, at least on the dedicated controller, original experience. But no, basically back to Nintendo, I don't, the conspiracy, I don't know the conspiracy. I think a conspiracy was more back in the day with the Nintendo and Super Nintendo, but you can't deny that. Hell, go back to what we were talking about earlier. Not Strider, because Strider was Genesis, but you think back classic Nintendo, Castlevania, Mega Man, all these Contra, all these games that were third party, but they're affiliated top notch with the Nintendo being top tier games. They made that system in a sense. I mean, I just wish. I think the conspiracy was more back then. I don't think it is now. I think now the problem is rushing to get that Mario Kart 8 out. And the reason I say rush is because before this, the Wii U wasn't it wasn't doing the best. But Nintendo, I don't think they were ever short on. But they're a lot better off now after Mario Kart 8 than they were before. If you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Sorry, let me just chime in 1 sec. The thing is that I understood what Nintendo was trying to do by coming out with the Wii U. See, the problem is Nintendo was always coming out with shit that wasn't relevant. Like, they weren't coming out with fucking online play, and they were coming out with fucking GameCube fucked them because GameCube was just so fucking, it was so hard to develop for it. The little disc, you couldn't only put so much data on it, and just the overall whole attitude that Nintendo was in. With the Wii, they were trying to use the gimmick of casual gamers. That shit is done with. Casual gamers are gone. That's the thing in the past because smartphones replaced them people. But here's the thing, though. Nintendo came out, like, say, a year and some change before, the PS4 and the Xbox. But the problem, though, is that year jump, how many fucking games did they release? So, to me, I'm like, okay, they had a year and some change on this stuff, but they weren't pushing out enough of their product and everything to warrant buying the system, and a lot of people who bought it just wound up getting rid of it because they just weren't pushing product. That's why I'm talking about PC. Like, it's a nice system and all, but I said I'll wait on it. It wasn't until, like, literally a couple of months ago I decided to pick it up because I did not think it was worth it. It just wasn't worth it at all.
Yeah.
And, and now it's a bit worth it because the price has dropped, and I think during Christmas time, that price will drop again, and then Smash coming out, Smash is going to move the unit. Smash is definitely going to move the unit. Stuff like that. But the thing is that it's like Nintendo just keeps giving us shit piecemeal. Rather than saying, okay, we're going to come out with like 5 excellent games and all, and then 5 next year, and then like you just keep on pushing them out. There's only so much IP you can fall back on before, it starts to get fucking dry and still you gotta have some others. So I think they'll last. They're not gonna be like a Sega and just drop the support of the system because it would be stupid for them because they see Sega's the model for all that dumb shit. But they fucked up by, not pandering to a lot of third-party developers and letting them come in and do the thing. Because Nintendo's got money. They got plenty of money to play with and all. But whatever else, and they relied on that. And a lot of people consider Nintendo just a kiddie brand and consider it not part of the hardcore, even though we talk about hardcore, which is bullshit, because to me, Nintendo's more hardcore than fucking PS4 and Xbox. So Nintendo themselves fucked up. They completely fucked up. It's their fault.
So
no, it is their fault, but I think honestly, towards the future, I'm not really concerned about third-party games because Nintendo, they're game makers. I mean, they make quality, but the thing is, like I said, it's just they're generations behind as far as like specs and now catching up with that true HD Mario Kart and the online. I would rather them focus on first-party games because you're not going to see The Last of Us probably due to limitations and content on Wii U or any kind of Nintendo system. So I think they need to focus on the first party because honestly, going back, whether it was the third-party monopoly or the transition to disc-based, why they lost out on Final Fantasy VII, I think they need to just stick to first-party because honestly, ever since Sony and Microsoft got into the game, they're getting the third-party support, but they're not game makers. They're just electronic companies like Panasonic and Philips entering the game world. Honestly, even go back to the 64. You compare the third-party great games. I mean, I dare you to name 5 great, awesome third-party games for the 64 when you could name, almost hundreds for the Nintendo and Super Nintendo. And I think also that goes because that was when the Saturn was floundering, the Dreamcast came out too late. By that point, Sega was out of the race. And I think the main thing about Sega was they were honest-to-God competition for Nintendo. And I think once Sega was faded away, you got these other electronic companies entering the fray. Nintendo, that's when they just like, fuck it, we're just going to produce our first-party shit. We know it's good. It's going to sell. Let the other people worry about the rest. And that kind of is, I mean, I don't know, Nintendo, they just need to, I don't mind their first party as long as they can keep up a good pace. Because if they can keep up a good pace, it'll be worth it. But then again, they are stubborn in that sense because, like, I'm not an RPG player, but I know Earthbound and Mother 3, like, they haven't been shitting on the fans, but they've been real. Like, Earthbound is finally out for the Wii U now, digital download. Mother 3, people still want that. And Nintendo is kind of just real hesitant about it for some reason. It wouldn't cost that much money to port these games over, make the fans happy. But, I just think it's that separate.
Okay, but hold on.
Go ahead,
yeah, no, I was saying, but that kind of brings me into another question. Now, so-called Nintendo fans, why don't Nintendo fans go buy Nintendo games?
What do you mean?
Like,
You know what?
like I mean, this goes for everyone. Every type of game. You can be Sony, Microsoft, whatever. But a lot of people, on forums and a lot of on the internet and a lot of street talk, they'll say, I'm going to go buy this game. But when the game comes out and let the game not get like a 9.0, they'll be like, no, I'm not. Or they'll wait months later until they get it on discount. You see what I'm saying?
No, I see what you're saying, but here's the thing, though, and it also goes back to Nintendo being kind of stubborn. I've got a regular Wii. I don't have a Wii U. Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'd love to get that game, but that son of a bitch never drops in price. Never do any of the first-party titles. Most games, like we said, Call of Duty, you wait 2 months when the hype drops on a Call of Duty. God forbid you wait till the next one comes out. You can buy those things dirt cheap. Nintendo first-party titles, they never drop in price. So I'm kind of with you, PC. It's like, if they're going to buy them, they might as well buy them off the front and enjoy that shit because they're not going to drop in price.
I mean, exactly.
I think overall, I was just going to say real quick before, like, I don't know who this Reggie Fils-Aimé guy is, this whole My Body Is Ready. I know of him and I know a little bit, but if you compare like the old heads, it's basically Howard Phillips era, then you got the Reggie era. And I think there's a big difference between those two.
Well, here's the thing. What you were saying, like, I was looking at, like, because a lot of times when you go into a lot of game stores and stuff like that, you have the Wii U and the Wii stuff. And I was looking at a lot of the Wii stuff because of the backwards capability, because I have, like, the Tatsunoko versus Capcom for the Wii on my Wii U, because I play. It's a fantastic game and all. But the thing is exactly like you were saying, Boss. The thing is holy fuck, you go and try and buy some of the games for the Wii U, they are still holding, like, some of them are $40, some of them are $30. I'm like, and okay, some of them might be brand new and stuff like that, but like you said, they are still holding value. Mario, some of the DS games and 3DS games have not dropped in price. And, what do you call it, a lot of the Wii U stuff that I've gotten, I buy that shit off Amazon. And usually if I buy it off Amazon, it drops, but it is brand new. So Nintendo Nintendo's still getting their money. But yeah, notice though that it does turn off a lot of people. But it's kind of hard to say. I mean, people do buy Nintendo stuff, like you see with Mario Kart 8. But I think the only thing is that it's just too much Mario, too much of the same mascot. Mario Kart 8's a little different story because Mario Kart 8 is literally just a driving game. It really is a driving. It's like fucking a cutesy version of a fucking Forza. It's just a fantastic game. It's made its mark so many years ago. But it's a little different. But most of the other games, within, other than maybe Mario, what is it, Super Mario 3D Land or whatever the hell that is, that's a fantastic game. But they still revolve around the same damn thing. So I think a lot of people get turned off with Nintendo products. They'll say they support them, but then when it comes down to it, a lot of times people feel that it's just the same shit that they've played over and over again. They're inundated with it. So, I mean, I do try to support Nintendo as much as possible.
I mean, but I don't know if you guys ever played this. Sal, I don't know if you heard this game called The Wonderful 101.
Yeah, that game, it's got mixed reviews on.
Yeah, but I mean, but if people actually gave it a try, sat down with it, tried to learn it, that game is a really, really, really good game. You know, but then like I see a lot of these pro Nintendo guys, like they're picking it up like this month or like last month. You know what I'm saying? Where the game came out like last September.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Well, I know what you're saying, that they're not picking it up when release and they're waiting for it. I understand completely what you're saying, though. But the problem, though, is that you got to remember something, too. A lot of people are swayed by what the magazine's cover. And because a lot of the magazines and internet, IGN, all them other web-based reviews, a lot are not getting played by the thing. They don't give a fuck. They'll rate for Wonderful 101. Really, yeah, like I've heard some really good stuff that I've seen reviews that are good on it, and I've seen reviews that are just horrible with the game. So I think a lot of people are really turned off unless it is, like you said, striking nines across the board. A lot of people are being turned off with it, and they're not giving it a chance.
Hey, can I chime in
Yeah.
PC
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Subject we're talking about the conspiracy against Nintendo Wii U? Is that what
Just
Yeah.
Okay, I think that is more than that. I think it's even deeper than that. I think that what it is, it's a conspiracy against Japanese developers and Japanese developed games. And I think that Nintendo is the final, I guess you would say, stronghold for the Japanese game industry. Once that's gone, I think that any type of originality, as far as original games, I think it's going to be gone, because you can see even right now that there's a great pressure to allow. What they want to do is take those first party games that you guys were talking about, like Mario Kart 8, all the Mario Zelda franchises, and then allow those games to be on cross platform. I mean, because Nintendo's they're holding on to those first parties, or those first party titles, which they know are great, and they know that they're exclusive themselves, because that's the bread butter, like you guys were talking about. So if they give that up, that's just like giving away the whole cow, you know. And so basically, that would be the end of Nintendo, I believe. So who cares?
Yeah,
like you guys were saying, like, yeah, go ahead, Watson.
No, I was going to say that's an excellent point about the Japanese developers. Definitely on that. But I think the only, like, the safe, the ace up their sleeve for Nintendo is like the controllers. Like, for the most part, like just the controllers and their interface. I would say the motion controls mainly, but I don't know how much that applies to games like Mario Kart 8. But just the fact that I don't want to say gimmicks, but they've got that appeal with the control, the whole way you interact with the game. That it's still, even if you did cross-platform it, that they still would have that upper edge in a sense. But then again, if they do start cross-platforming for the hell of it, are trying to make money.
Nah,
I don't know how it would go.
I don't see that ever happening. I think when that happens, like I think they're just gonna close the lights on this whole gaming industry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Because the thing is, if Nintendo falls, then its games are done.
Yeah,
because
it's over.
Nintendo in itself is formulated based on games itself, all the way back to playing cards and stuff. But the thing is that if Nintendo starts to fucking do a Sega game, then exactly like what Jose was saying, they may as well just shut down shop and just fucking, I don't know, do whatever the fuck people do nowadays. The thing is that it's really bad. And you know what's funny is a lot of people, they diss Nintendo and they keep dissing Nintendo. And what people don't realize, if it wouldn't be for Nintendo, we wouldn't have even gotten to this point. And for them to diss them, and I think that's a lot of younger generation kids, and even some of the people in our ages are doing that because they want the bro Call of Duty shit and all. And they don't realize a lot of them are a little stupid in the fucking head, and they don't realize this stuff would have not been accomplished without actually Nintendo. Because you got to remember, Nintendo came out of a recession when people did not give a fuck about video games. Now it's all popular, and you need to see the landfills and all that bullshit and the different documentaries and movies and shit. But Nintendo, without a Nintendo, you don't have a gaming industry. Because Sony is pretty much just bleeding money. They're pretty much bleeding money because Sony's not relevant anymore. Sony is not relevant. Sony used to be the go-to place for whatever your electronics needs are. They are no longer the leader in that shit anymore. Microsoft, they're not even giving a shit because all their different operating systems and shit like that is what makes them money. So if they bail out, they can do their thing. And Sony, what difference? The only thing they have is the PlayStation brand, and even though the PlayStation brand does well for them, that's not enough to keep them afloat.
Yeah.
So really, if Nintendo went, the others would sink.
No.
Just go. It would be nothing. It would be so bland. And the market already is bad right now. That's the reason why I went with Nintendo, is because Nintendo brings you the true games. They're not there to just say, okay, we're going to make the same iteration, the same bullshit all the time. I mean, they do to some extent, but they're really hardcore games. They're fun to play. They're games. Whereas the system isn't trying to be, a super multimedia, even though they have the Netflix and all that type of stuff. It's bare bones basic, but the concentration is the games. The other systems, their concentration were not games. Their concentration was media and TV and all sorts of dumb shit because they knew they couldn't give the games a go. They can't even make 1080p for all the games nowadays. And 1080p is on its way out. What are we going to go into 4K soon?
Yeah.
So, come on, man. That's some bullshit.
Yeah, that's a good point you made, Sal. Without Nintendo, the game landscape today would be so bland. It would just be like, oh my god, it would just be so whitewashed, so bland. And because there'd be no original creative there to make anything other than all the stuff that we hate, Call of Duties, all that kind of crap. So, it would be pretty bleak.
Okay. Well, how about this, guys? What if how do you guys feel about third parties? Like me, you guys know I have a boycott on Ubisoft, EA. How do you guys feel about third party games now? You can go start with Botson.
Third party games. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I think through this. I mean, I was laughing earlier because Sal mentioned Crash Bandicoot. I mean, I thought about that name in years, but like as far as like Sony and Microsoft exclusives or first party stuff, I don't know. I mean, I'll let you guys answer back because I don't want to get back to the previous thing, but like you were saying, like there's that stigma against Nintendo. It's like, oh, it's a kiddie system. I mean, people need to get over that shit because that shit still does exist. People think Nintendo's kiddie, and these are the same people that are buying PS4s and Xbox Ones because of the newest, the latest, the greatest type of shit, even though there might not be games for them. I mean, it's the same thing that happened to the Saturn. I mean, people looked over the Saturn because it wasn't true 3D or it wasn't able to do 3D as well as the PlayStation. It doesn't matter. It was still a great system, had great games, but you have that, I'll put in quotations, that the cool kid mentality where you got to have the newest, the latest, the greatest. Well, that shit really doesn't matter. And it's kind of funny because you're talking about indie developers and that being the future. Honestly, the PS3 and the 360 might hold more lifespan because honestly, if indie developers should be making these games, might as well put them on the PS3 unless they can boost them up to the PS4 level. There really might not be a reason to have the PS4 because the indie developers for the PS3, it's fine. I mean, back in the day, jumping from PS2 to PS3, besides the HD and the online mainly, that was a big leaping step forward. From PS3 to PS4 isn't that great. I mean, we're talking third party. Probably the greatest game for the PS4 now is a remastered game for the PS3, and that's The Last of Us. I mean, hopefully the future will come forward like that, but I mean, I just don't like that stigma. I mean, that whole kiddie mentality about Nintendo. It's just...
Third parties, I have zero faith in them because you don't have TACCOM as irrelevant anymore. So you don't have your Konamis, you don't have all your different people like Sunsoft and all those other people. Since third parties don't even count anymore. I'm being dead ass honest. A lot of this stuff doesn't even count because to me that's why I love Nintendo. Because if this would have been maybe 10, 15 years ago, okay, I would have went to one who had more third parties because you would have had a big variety of games and things like that. It isn't like that nowadays. That's the reason why I stuck with Nintendo because none of the other systems. I mean, the only stuff I might lose out on is maybe Street Fighter Ultra fucking Champion fucking bullshit, or maybe Mortal Kombat X or 10 and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm not missing it. I'm not going to run out and buy $400 or whatever the hell it will be worth of hardware for literally 5 games. I mean, to me, like for the Wii U, I already have now like 6-7 games already for the game and for the system, and I just got it like about 3 months ago.
Yeah.
So it's not worth it for me to go out and buy a lot of stuff because developers are not doing it, and Capcom, I can't consider them a developer really anymore because they're sitting there fucking trying to see if they can keep themselves afloat. And Nintendo should have bought them, to be honest with you. If Nintendo would buy Capcom, like a lot of people are hoping for, Nintendo can just literally back and just fucking just buy it on money because that would be the perfect platform for it. But I don't consider any of the systems, other systems, really relevant anymore. And third party for me is dead. It's been dead since PlayStation 83 era, making the beginning. And they really the PS2 errors when the last really meant something.
Yeah, you're right.
I got to agree with you, Sal. I got to agree with you wholeheartedly. Who cares about the third parties? I mean, I don't think that they're really relevant at all because basically what they're just a multi-platform, get our product out there on whatever systems you can, and they're just kind of just warmed over PC games. A lot of them, like you say, like you guys brought up earlier, are just basically kind of like a warmed over PC that's cross-platforms. That's not unique. That's not like anything that is really that special. So yeah, I don't think it's really all that relevant. I would rather just hate the original stuff, like the original titles, the first party, the Zeldas. Like they have this new Hyrule Warriors coming out. They got these really innovative games where you can make your own Mario. Mario game on the Wii U. That's awesome. Like it's totally like these really good innovative things that are they aren't kind of a long time coming, but they are coming. If Nintendo can keep up their high quality, and release a really good game every other quarter or every quarter, I think they'd be all right. Who cares about these parties?
If Nintendo can actually put out within a year, I'm saying in a year, they could put out at least 10 fucking good games, or maybe a little less, maybe 10 good games. They'd be pretty much good to go. Because you know what the funny part is? Everybody's bitching and complaining about resolution and graphics. Or why the fuck are people complaining about resolution and graphics? You have to realize that the PS4 and the Xbox One are fucking downgraded PCs. Like, and I don't understand that anymore. Like the point. People are saying, "Oh, it's a 1080, it's a 720, it's a 900.5," and are you fucking serious? I've never heard of this shit before. That people are thinking that these systems should be the caliber of like $1,000, $1,500, gaming for a quality they're sitting there with brand loyalty, and I've never even seen it. Like, it was cute back in the day with the Sega Genesis versus the Super Nintendo. It was super cute. It is not cute now. I don't understand where people are coming from with all this bullshit. I don't understand why the brand loyalty is much stronger and something like that. Like, these people don't care about you. I mean, the point is, it's like I used to tell people, like, sports teams, they don't give a shit about you. You're the fool to them. You're paying them money and fighting over it. And then one article I read is that Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony are all friends. All the top level executives are friends. They go fucking polo, tennising, and all this other shit. They do all of that. They're not fucking feuding amongst each other. Them days are gone. And people just are weird nowadays. I don't understand what happened. It wasn't like this back in the day.
No, because Sal, because people want to fit into like clubs and feel good about each other. Like, if you're rocking with SNK, well, fuck it, I'm gonna rock with SNK to make me feel good. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dick riding going on.
Wait, it doesn't make sense nowadays because these aren't just like kids; these are some grown ass men.
Yeah.
I'm like sitting there, I'm like, is something wrong with your ass? Like, in other words, is why are you that much involved in things like that? Because basically the hardware that you're getting, like the Xbox and the PS4, they're outdated hardware. Like, as soon as they hit the shelves, they're outdated. So they're done. And then people were like, oh, they want to get 10 years of console life on. Then I think it's either Xbox or PS4, they said they wanted to get 10 years out. They're not going to get 10 years out of these systems. It's not going to happen because the hardware can do what was promised. And now they're going to do come out with console. They're not, they can't do it. Jump.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's really about the industry, basically the game industry. It's about the media, within the game industry. They're the ones who make all these claims about, oh, this system's better, or, they're the ones who make all the claims about, well, this system is a failure, this system's not a failure. They're the ones who dictate that. So, of course, the consumers out there are going to, read that, and that's how they're gonna form their opinions about stuff. So, but luckily, they're the independent-minded guys, who still want to, think for themselves and buy what they really enjoy. So that's how it goes.
I mean, because I remember one guy, he's actually a YouTuber, was going to give me, because he does reviews, and a lot of the people send him, games to review. And one time he said to me, he goes, hey, if I give you these games, would you consider buying a system? I said, if you gave me these games, that I think they were for the PS4, I believe, at the time. I said, I wouldn't even buy the system if you gave me all the games for free. Because I said, there's no point of it. It's not anything that I have any interest in. To me, it's garbage in, garbage out. And I just don't understand why people have all this stupid... I mean, it's like mass hysteria. I'm surprised they're not rioting in the fucking streets over this shit. I mean, it's stupid to me. It's not fun anymore. Gaming nowadays is just not fun. It's just so going through emotions. There's no passion in it anymore. And it's just like guys like us who are getting older and are like, yeah, remember the olden days and shit like that. Like, it's come fucking down to that. Like, seriously, like, people who we criticized back in the day, oh, music isn't as good today, all this other shit. Like, now we've gotten to that point, like, gaming sucks today. I mean, that's fucked up. That, we've come to this point, and it's actually fucking sad. It's actually sad, and, eventually this shit is going to fall off in some way, shape, or form. But to me, it's like almost depressing. I mean, fuck, man.
Yeah, it's over. I think it's over, dude. Gaming as a whole is done. As far as we're concerned, it's still something that we care about. We still play games, so it's just one of those things where it's kind of like, well, yeah, just like you said, Sal, it's all about the nostalgia. So.
I mean, but are we really that old though? You know what I'm saying? Like we over sound like old men. You know what I'm saying?
Well, it's not.
I hope not.
Like, is it really over? Is it really over?
There's no hope, brother. It's time to do yourself in. No, seriously. No, what I mean is remember something. We grew up in a time when we seen a lot of changes in the gaming landscape. We've seen a lot of companies. We've seen a lot of games. We've seen everything. And when you got to remember, when you come from that background and you come to now, that's a fucking shock to the system. That shit will cause you a stroke. But if you were born, maybe the maybe the mid '90s, the late '90s, or somewhere around there where you didn't have that much experience, it might be very neat and acceptable for the consoles that are coming. They're like, oh, well, this is the norm. But for guys like us that have a diverse background in gaming, we sound old because we knew we're starting, from the half bleeps and pops and shit like that, bleeps and bloops and all sorts of dumb shit like that to where we are today. So it is a different take on it than somebody who's a millennial or is a Generation Yer who didn't experience the arcade days, didn't experience the Super Nintendo days, or was coming at really the tail end of that shit, and might have been the N64 might have been the first system, or maybe the PS2 in some ways. So they're not going to know any difference, but we will. So that's the problem.
Sal, man.
I think that's the reason why we're kind of like sounding like fucking grandpa.
Sal, you're gonna make me after the podcast go hug my fucking hug my Dreamcast. You know what I'm saying? Like
that's right, man. You fucking molested it. I mean, it's just fucking
Yep, that's the last great system right there. That's the last great, I would say, really commercially, commercial system that was out. I mean, that was it. I think that was the golden age PCs. Dreamcast.
Yeah.
After that, it just fell off. It fell off.
That was probably. I still hold out for some at PS2, some of the stuff, some of the early wasn't too bad, but Dreamcast really just ended everything. It just ended it, and it's just like, it's almost to the point it breaks your ears because like I said, like PC says he's going to go and hug the Dreamcast. Yeah, you should, because you know what? It's the last of real gaming and real experiences, because it's not like that nowadays, and people's mentality and things have changed considerably throughout the years. And I think it is a generational thing. I think it really is.
Man. What about you, Batsa, man?
I'm saying, I don't know. I'm trying to think. I'm talking about the Dreamcast. That was a damn good system, but then it brought that arcade experience home too. But at the same time, you got the arcade scene dead now, but it's I don't know. I mean, it is like a generational gap, I guess. But ever since I told you guys before, like the Sega CD killed my spirit back in the day. But like ever since like the 64 PS1 era, I mean, I enjoy certain games, but I'm not as hardcore as much now. And that's why, like now, going back and playing Neo Geo and playing the Saturn. Playing a lot of good, just not Saturn, just 2D exclusive, but just playing a lot of the stuff I missed, or going back and like the pinnacle of 2D gaming. I just enjoy it more. And honestly, as far as like the new gen, all this stuff, new bells and whistles. Honestly, probably again going back to Strider. When Strider first came out, that probably, even though that wasn't much of a a jump tech wise, it could have been, but like just that game impressed me more. Like fucking blew my mind away. Took my breath away, whatever they even want to say. Go hug the Dreamcast, go hug the Genesis. But like back then, like that jump made more of a difference. I think you just need more innovation. But as far as I don't know, I agree. I don't know if the new kids will get it if they care. Hopefully, games like Shovel Knight will be a good indication. If they can go back and see that for what it is, just a damn good game. Who gives a damn if it looks like it's a Nintendo game? But I will say this though, like I've been thinking about this because, like I was saying earlier, like Nintendo needs to jump on the first party bandwagon more often. But honestly, and Sal, you were saying like they may be pumping out too much Mario stuff, but hopefully they can just find the right balance. Like I think Mario Kart 8, they don't need to pump one out every other year. They could have been quicker to get it out on the Wii U. But if you look at like Punch Out, like to me Punch Out or Mike Tyson's Punch Out is like probably the greatest example of a Nintendo game. I mean, even going back to like Super Mario Brothers and Donkey Kong, like honestly, the Nintendo didn't get enough credit. It saved the video game Crash, but it really was bringing the arcade experience on with those games. Even though they look primitive now, that really was the hot shit. You look at Punch Out. Punch Out was a port, but it was downgraded to accommodate the NES. And to me, it surpassed the arcade experience. You know, that game is just a classic, from a favorite Nintendo game. And then you got Super Punch Out, which was more of an arcade port for the Super Nintendo. But that series was dead until the Wii. You didn't get a Nintendo 64. You didn't get a GameCube Punch Out. But the Wii brought the series back, and the Wii version was a damn good game. And I would like to see more Punch Out games, but I kind of fear, like, if they start pumping them out too much, maybe it'll become... Well, especially with that series in general, you don't want to keep... Go ahead.
Yeah, the thing is, that's why, like, if you watch E3, Reggie was making fun of themselves and all that, you know, when they had that Robot Chicken thing where they were saying, not another Mario game. In other words, it's because Nintendo, that's the reason why I was turning a lot of people off. In other words, is that, like, Punch Out, like, I'd like to see a Wii U Punch Out. That'd be fucking HD the fuck up. That'd look great. In other words, is that the Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze. I heard it's balls fucking hard, but it's a magnificent game. Like, in other words, is so they have to concentrate on, like, Splatoon, that new shooting game for the
It looks good.
the Wii U.
It looks fun.
That looks fucking fantastic.
It looks fun.
Like, that looks great. And they just got to keep on producing a bit more IPs, and if they keep on putting out a bit more IPs, then they don't have to rely too much on third party. They can be kind of a dickhead about it, but if they just keep on pumping Mario into it, then people are going to just lose interest in that shit. But if they keep on producing new IPs and things like that, Nintendo can stand the test of time with the Wii U and, have a pretty long span, because they want the system to continue. Because I figure the system at least has another maybe, I'd say about 2 years left in it, probably. I'm guessing about 2 years.
Yeah. Same here, Sal.
Hey, PC, let me ask you this, because I know we went off the Nintendo tangent, but I was going to ask you, man, what do you think of the new 3DS? Because to me, like, I like the upgraded hardware. That seems good. Mm-hmm. And my biggest gripe with the 3DS XL was the fact they didn't have a second analog stick on there. They had the attachments you could add on to it, but to me, it would have been a bigger sell if they would have put that second analog on there. But then again, the thing sold anyway. But as far as the new 3DS, it's supposed to have better 3D. The side vision's going to work this time, and I think it's actually going to like a beefed up hardware so they can play more complex games.
Yeah, I'm going to buy it on day one. Day one, when it drops, I'll have it. I think it's a great upgrade. Just like you said, it has the second analog stick, and the specs have been beefed up. It's been overclocked, and it has twice the RAM, so it'll be faster and everything. So me personally, I'm gonna get it. So
I'm definitely gonna pick one up. I'm probably gonna get rid of my 3DS XL and upgrade it to that, because like I said, like this actually does have like a C stick, or I don't know if it's analog. I think it's more like the GameCube controller. But between that and the fact it's actually beefed up hardware wise, it's not like a sellout. Like they're just rehashing the same shit over and over again. The only thing I'm worried about is just that base consumers, which, we're talking about making fun of the hardcore gamers, they're going to know the difference. But then you got the kids and the parents buying for the kids. They're not going to, it's going to be hard to, we talked about like the difference between the 2DS and the 3DS. This seems like it might be more confusing.
I mean,
hopefully it'll.
Yeah, but
go ahead.
Different systems now.
Yeah,
they're not the same system. You're thinking like they're upgrade, like they're making exclusive games just for the system that will not work on the 3DS. Because I have a 3DS, like I have the old school one, and they're making this new system that's going to have exclusives that you can play and shit. So Nintendo, to me, I don't know. They need to get off that crack pipe, because that doesn't make any fucking sense, producing another system where you're going to have to get other exclusives by buying another system again. And it's going to confuse people going to the store and be like, 3DS, well, which the fuck one? There's like 30 of them. I mean, I don't think Nintendo is...
Well, no, Sal, I think, I know the system is going to come out in 2015, but I think by that time, like those regular 3DSs, like, I have a small one and the XL too. I think the regular ones, I think they're going to just phase them out. And I think like that new one is just going to be the standard one. But I completely understand where someone might get mad about the upgrade. Like, damn, there's gonna be exclusive games. Now I have to go buy that system. Fuck you, Nintendo. But someone like me, I mean, I have the disposable income. You know what I'm saying? Now, for like a child or a teenager, I can understand. But for me, it's not really, a big deal.
No, yeah,
I don't.
it's like,
I
no,
I would
it's not
buy.
going to be a big deal. No, go ahead, Sal.
Go ahead, dude.
No, just real quick. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but the thing I'm worried about is like, yeah, I mean, it'll still play old 3DS games.
Yeah.
Moving forward, maybe they should have named it, or maybe they will change the name of it, because like now you look at games on the shelf, some of the games have stickers that say "We'll play on the 2DS," just letting you know it's the same system without the 3DS and everything. But moving forward, I mean, how are they going to market these games like games for the new 3DS? Because you're probably going to have a lot of people buying these new games for their kids, or just you might have this complete dumbasses buying these new games for their old systems and they won't work.
Here's the problem. I think what's going to happen is I think this is going to be bad for Nintendo, because here's the problem. A lot of people didn't expect the 3DS to sell well, okay? And it just turned to turn around. But the problem, though, is Nintendo, a lot of, I think, handhelds are going to start phasing out really quickly, because you got to remember something. Almost everybody, especially children's got fucking iPads and tablets nowadays and all of that. So the point is, a lot of games and stuff you can play, true, they might not be the cutesy Mario and all, but I think the handheld type of stuff is kind of dying, because it was attractive to a certain type of particular user, but as those people start getting older and older, I don't think it's going to do as well as the past portables of Nintendo. And Nintendo always strikes gold with portables. For some reason, they got the Midas touch, but I don't think that they'll. I don't think this one's going to be a hit. I think it's a stupid decision based on Nintendo. I think it's stupid. They should continue with the 3DS because of the popular user base and let that die out until they come out with their next system, stuff like that.
Now, Sal, what if it wasn't just like just Nintendo's thoughts on that? Like, what if third parties that are supporting the 3DS, like, was like, yo, you guys got to kind of beef up the specs on this 3DS and add a second analog stick?
I mean, I doubt that the point is it's going to get too much extra third party, because really there's nothing really on it at this stage of the game. I mean, there's a couple games I still want to get for it and all, but I don't think it's going to have the support it really the 3DS had. The 3DS, a lot of people were shocked by, and self included. Like, I was shocked the 3DS did really well, but the thing is, I don't think even the extra stick and stuff like that, I think they're jumping into territory that they should be leaving alone and concentrating on the Wii U stuff, and leaving the handheld to still do the 3DS stuff, come out with that, and then let that die out, because the Vita and a lot of the other handhelds are not doing that great, and eventually that because the handhelds were more towards your casual market. Your hardcore fan base usually doesn't go with the handhelds, and I like them because I enjoy a lot of the games on for it. But I don't think this is a wise decision by Nintendo. I'm being dead honest. I think they should let everything be and just ride out the 3DS as much as possible, because that is their sales at this point. Wii U is not their sales, but they want to try and capitalize on the success of the 3DS. Like, if they're pushing 3DS type of stuff, they need to leave it alone, because it might wind up costing them way more money than it was worth.
Now, when it comes when it comes to sales, are we in agreement that Smash Brothers is going to sell a lot of Wii U's?
Yes, that is going to push the system, because almost fighters and non-fighting game enthusiasts alike, that will sell. Like you might be pushing probably Mario Kart territory or even higher. Yeah. I think because if they produce it by Christmas, if they put it out by Christmas, I'm gonna tell you something. Wii U's are gonna be fucking flying up. You're gonna see fucking flames and shit and smoke behind them, because people want to play a Smash Brothers. So that is definitely a system seller. And just like a Zelda, if they came out with a Zelda, that one that we saw at E3, and it looks just as good. Let me tell you something. Wii U sales, I believe, will probably triple at Christmas time They better release it by fucking Christmas. Because if they don't release it by Christmas, they may as well fucking swallow the keys to the fucking building and shut down the fucking place. Because that is a system seller, and they got to put it out around the holiday.
I'm calling it around Black Friday.
Maybe.
I'm
saying probably.
That's my vote. Black Friday. I mean, if I was... What do you think, Batsa?
I mean, I think it'll move, but the thing is, like, I'm not biased, but I really don't know too much about Smash. I mean, I know of Smash and I like Smash, but at the same time, it's like, it's going to move. Put it this way. It's like, where do they draw the line? Okay, like Sal, you were saying earlier, you're not going to go out and spend $600 for a new system in one game. You take competitive fighters. There's no way I'm going to drop $500-$600 for an Xbox One and Killer Instinct. The same token, I would like to see Smash. I would love to see Smash more competitive because Melee still holds up in Evo. And Evo, like we just said earlier, like Last Blade 3, New King of Fighters. I think Evo definitely had a hand in that spotlighting KOF 13. I would love. I can see the pros and I can see the pros and cons of Evo, like a competitive Smash, helping the Evo crowd and helping the fight community. At the same time, you don't want to alienate it because it's always been about that family-friendly thing. So I think it's win-win for Nintendo either way. They're going to move the things. If it's family-friendly, that's fine. That's what it was made for. It's still going to succeed and excel. But it would also be nice to have that competitive edge. But also, I don't know if you put too much of a competitive edge into it, would it compromise that family values or that family mentality? And I think it's going to sell either way. Because go ahead.
No, I mean, I never considered Smash as like one of those go-to games for me personally because I hadn't owned a Nintendo system since literally like the Super Nintendo. And the thing is that, but based upon their track record, their history with the game, and because it's a unique type of fighting game. Because a lot of people tried to copy Smash, and some, like even PlayStation tried to do it, and they kind of like failed on kind of that idea. Even though there wasn't really too bad, is that it's unique, and a lot of people can get into it. So I think it has that appeal. And even though I was shocked that it has that much of a competitive edge. The thing is it will sell. It's so branded because not because it's so much a fighting game. It's just because you got Kirby in here, you got Samus, you got fucking Link, you got all sorts of Nintendo IPs coming at you, ass. So the thing is that's what attracts a lot of the game is those IPs that people want. So that game is going to be fucking moving. That's going to be moving some fucking years.
It's going to be big.
It's going to be especially big. If they did a pack-in game as like Smash Brothers Wii U exclusive or some old dumb shit like that. They could sell that fucker for like $400 that would fucking fly off the shelf. Because the popularity of Smash because of its IP. And I think Nintendo. I agree probably with those saying that it will probably hit around Black Friday or it's somewhere around there.
Yeah.
It's not early ass December.
I can see it, but I'm kind of worried about it being more successful than Mario Kart 8 because like we're talking about 3DS earlier. The 3DS started off slow, then it got the support, and then it was like a mainstay, and then it was mainly funding Nintendo. The Wii U, ever since Mario Kart 8, is starting to pick up. I still think that the 3DS is successful for what it does. It's a damn good system, especially now that they got the Pokemon games, they got all this other stuff drawing people in. But Smash, like, I don't know, like the reason, I guess the reason I keep going back to the competitive field is because I'm the same way with you, so I didn't think of it as much of a competitive fighter. I thought of it just like a dream game, like, oh, you like Link, I like Mario. Who would win in a fight? It's that kind of mentality. But then again, like you look at Melee is still holding strong. And I really don't remember how successful Brawl was for the Wii. Like, I know Brawl, it probably was, but I don't know if it was a system seller.
It was.
It was,
yeah.
Okay.
Every single Smash Brothers, except for the N64 one, so, I mean, because, it was the first one, but all of them are system sellers.
Okay, well, so hopefully, if it's going to be a system seller regardless, that's good. But hopefully, it'll have a little bit of more competitive instead of the casual play to give it that feel that Melee had. And not the feel of Melee, because Melee still is like the premier game in that community. And there is, I mean, hell, they got it, the community got them in Evo the past 2 years. And it looks like, I mean, compared to last year, I don't think it's going anywhere. And hopefully they can have the successor to that. Because Brawl, I know there's like a Project M mod for Brawl, and it's still successful. But hopefully it'll be successful. It'll be a system seller. But I'm just hoping it'll have that little bit to make it more long lasting. Once the initial hype and the initial, like we're talking about this Black Friday. Hopefully by next Black Friday, it'll still be revealed as like a top tier in that community.
I mean, it's and as far as Evo goes, it's right now it's as big as it's actually as big as Street Fighter, and that's like the main event.
And that's the thing. It's like I don't like. Hopefully, Nintendo won things because I don't know if it was at E3, but I think this happened before Evo. But they actually had like a competition and a tournament for the new Brawl, and hopefully it'll have. They'll get, like you said. Yeah, I know the stream numbers were higher. Or they're definitely up there. Hopefully, they'll acknowledge that and not dismiss fans because I know, like we're saying, like when I keep saying the casual friendly, I'm thinking of like the same thing we're talking about the 3DS, the new 3DS. The parents that are going to buy it for their kids, they might be confused, but hopefully it'll have that long lasting because obviously, I mean, Melee is what 10, 15 years old, maybe. I mean, it's still that revered.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that this one won't be the same way, or at least
people have already been doing the hands-on with the shit. With the new one, a lot of them are actually like because as time goes on, like Nintendo's giving people piecemeal type of stuff with this new Smash, and a lot of people are raving about it. You know, so and let me tell you something. Nintendo's actually putting a lot of chips into Smash because they're going back and redoing it, tweaking it, going back and forth and back. And they're actually just doing a whole bunch of betas and testing it out there to make sure that shit is ready because they want fucking 10s across the board when that shit gets rated. They want 10s on Smash because they know that system is it's smooth and they want to make sure it's competition ready because when Evo 15 happens, you can guarantee your shit that game is going to fucking be there and probably going to be all sponsored to fuck up all around Evo.
Yeah.
You know, almost like a Coca-Cola commercial because Nintendo knows that they just need to push that game, make sure it's tweaked. There's no, like, everybody and their mother to make sure there's no possible way that there could be bugs or issues in that game. That's why they're beta testing the shit out of it now. That's what they're doing to make sure, because normally they'll beta test the game, but Nintendo has not beta tested a game like this in a long time. They want to make sure it's super perfect when it comes out. So this way, they can just say, haha, motherfucker, see what we did? We brought out Mario Kart 8, and we brought out this motherfucker. Motherfucker, and we will move units just based on this game. Like just like Mario Kart 8. Stand out like a gang sign. You're like, this is how we do shit. Come out one good fucking game, now what? You bring out 4 or 5 games, yeah, motherfucker, great.
You know what? I think that's a great strategy. That's a great strategy. You know, just come out with the quality over quantity. I think that will win out. If they just want to just with that. That's a
they will push through this because because that's their whole thing. If you look through even E3. The majority of that was really Smash. A lot of good with the whole Amiibo thing and the little fucking toys and all that shit. They want to push that shit really heavily. And as they know, Smash will ride them into 2015 when they can actually upgrade and produce the next game. I know what they're doing. They're actually causing delays until certain other games come out. And they can just keep on pushing to the next one. Smash next one.
Yeah, true, Sal.
let me bring. See, I think I just want to say, because like I think the demand's there. Obviously, if the Evo numbers are there, if the success at Evo, especially a game that old, making such an impact, the community is there. And like I said, I'm not sure if it was E3, but they actually had like a big tournament on stage. Reggie was there. They brought in their own competitors who were known for Smash and Melee and all that stuff. And Reggie even hinted that they might have future, like a circuit like that, kind of like Capcom's doing with the Pro Tour now. And I think that's definitely, if the numbers are there, I think it's a win-win, but also it's a double-edged sword because I know the creator of Smash, he didn't intend it for it to be competitive.
Yeah. I
think he likes it being like kind of a casual, and it is a great casual game. But I'm saying though, it's like the demand's there. I mean, the people are wanting more, and I just don't. Hopefully, it's not going to compromise what it is. But I'm just saying, hopefully, it'll have. I'm hoping this one is going to be good regardless. It's going to be a system seller, but it'll have that longevity where at least until the next game, we'll still be playing this one in a competitive manner. Because Brawl, like if you guys are saying Brawl was still a system seller, I mean, I've played Brawl a few times, not as much as Melee, but it's a good game. But at the same time, it was like that community kind of stood like, and it goes back to even like what we were saying about PS3 and having the latest greatest. People moved up to the PS4. That community was like, "Nah, we're good. We're sticking with Melee." So hopefully we can have that kind of backlash. But yeah, as much as you guys are talking, I thought Mario Kart 8 is just as excellent as that game appears to be. If it's anything like 7 with the bells and whistles, I mean, I know it's going to be a system seller. I mean, it obviously is, but I'm just going to be surprised if Smash surpasses that, which I'm sure they will.
I mean,
I'm pretty sure the thing is go ahead, Jose.
Oh no, I was just saying. As far as like a system seller go, I have a lot of friends that are my age, around 28, 29, 30, that are buying a Wii U strictly for Smash Brothers. Like they're like yo, they keep calling me up, yo, when is Smash Brothers coming out so we can play how we did back when Melee came out. And I'm like, man, hold on, they haven't come out with a date yet, but as soon as I know, you'll know. So I mean, Smash Brothers is a pretty big game. I think it's probably the biggest fighting game on the planet now. I think it's bigger than Street Fighter.
Yeah,
I'm just hoping it's going to be. I'm just kidding. Sorry. I'm just saying. I'm hoping it's going to be rich and have that in-depth mentality to stick around. Because, like I said, people are going to buy. I'm sure all your friends are going to play. You have a good time with it, but I just don't want it to be like in a couple months down the line, like the next game comes out or the next fighter comes out, and people kind of gravitate towards that because maybe this was too casual. If this got that competitive edge, I'm not talking about all this crazy frame data and all this shit from Ultra Street Fighter 4. I'm just talking about just basics. If you could just give it that longevity, just have it, make it rich, man.
Well, see, here's the thing with one thing that's smart about Nintendo is with Smash, they don't make 7,000 iterations of it. Like you have the N64 one, you have the GameCube one, you have the Wii one, you have this one. They don't make, Street Fighter, they don't make Smash, Super Ultra, Mega, whatever. So that's the reason why it's going to appeal to a lot more people, is because when every time it comes to a new system, it is upgraded, it is given whatever corrections to the previous one, given new shit, and that's what separates it from Street Fighter. And this is Nintendo's advertising, because Nintendo never advertised worth of shit for the fucking Wii U. This is actually now their advertising time of Smash. I guess they were waiting for, which to me is absolutely stupid, is waiting for the game to actually fucking release where they can fucking advertise the living shit out of the Wii U for it. But I think that's where Smash reigns, is because Street Fighter has been done to death so much that people are about to vomit, whereas the Smash itself is unique to each particular system. Go ahead, Jose. Sorry about that.
No. I was just saying, Sal was right as far as that goes. Like, there's only one Smash per console generation. That's it. That's all you get.
True. So I think that's what keeps the longevity and people really wanting it, because that's why this one will be really important. And here's another thing too: is it'll be a 3DS seller, because I'll definitely get a 3DS. It'll be the first time it launches on a handheld, so that's money in their pocket right there. And with the console, this season for them, if they do it right, they release it, I think will be one of the best seasons. I think it'll do way better than Mario Kart. I think it'll do way better.
Yeah, agreed.
Nice.
Man.
I was gonna bring up patches for a second, but I don't know. You guys good on time? I don't want to keep rambling and keep you guys held up. So
No, I mean it's all up to you guys. I mean, right now I'm reading it's about 150 right now. We've been talking for an hour and 54 minutes, so it's all up to you guys.
Jared, you got it.
Yeah, it's good. Yeah, this is about as long as we've been. We've been almost 2 hours on my end. So. I can't hear you. What you say, Sal?
No, I'm just saying that you're like snooze in the background. Like, yeah, that's good. Whatever you're talking.
I'm tuned in.
Yeah, that sounds great. No, but the thing is that the one thing plus I think what's good about Nintendo is that a lot of DLC might come out now isn't extreme like you're trying to do a lot of DLC and they're not pumping too much. So Mario Kart 8 is pumping a lot more they call it riders and that. And the Smash would be the same thing. As soon as Smash comes out and somewhere a few months down the road they're going to keep on offering more characters.
Yeah.
More patches.
Yeah, I can say
those are games that
one thing I want to say about like this next generation stuff and all that. When I saw the Mario Kart 8, I thought that was next gen. I mean, graphics, the resolution of that game is crazy. If you're playing on a really good TV, I never saw anything like that. I can definitely see the jump between like this generation, like Xbox 360, and that game. So that is definitely a next generation game. So not just the gameplay is good in the game, not only is it fantastic, but also the graphics are actually really on a higher level as well. So if Nintendo keeps this up with these new games like you guys were talking about, if they do this in the next Smash Brothers and any other iterations of games that they have coming out, they're going to do good. I don't see how they can really fail if they just keep this up.
I think next year, just how just what Sal was saying, as far as like, as long as Nintendo keeps like a game coming out maybe like every month or a month and a half, I think the third party situation, just like he said, wouldn't even matter.
I agree.
Yeah.
But I think if they do come out with another system again, let's say if they decide to come out with another system, hopefully it won't go fucking Wii. The thing is that they come out one. I think their tactics will be a bit different next round if they decide to do if there's another console generation. I think it will have their back differently and not jump the gun like that. So that I can definitely guarantee. They'll learn.
Yeah, probably Nintendo might be the only physical console maker by next gen. I don't think they're going anywhere as far as that goes.
I can't even see that.
Yeah, I don't
even think 8. I just don't think the passion there anymore. And even the companies themselves realize that they got ahead of their asses. Because they promised to do all these different things. And they kept on saying that, the past generations couldn't do this, that, and all this other shit. And they still can't do this, that. It's just like even The Last of Us. Everybody said it's a very nice game, but it's just a newer shade of paint on it. But it's the only reason why they released it because they knew that people would buy it because of the popularity. And they say, to get people who never played it on the PS3. Yeah, of course, people want the PS4 because it's such a media hub. And then they're like, let's try a game for it. And that's why I think that thing with Raiders and whatever kind of fucking dumb shit that was. Same thing.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you guys this, because I know in fact, the last time we recorded, the first time or the second time, I know we both mentioned The Last Blade, then SNK bringing that back forefront, and then at least a game for like Evo or just a new, HD animation. Now we know that they're gonna at least hopefully make the 3D version. And I know the second time we recorded, actually later that night, that was the first time I played a Soul Calibur game. And it was Soul Calibur 5 for the PS3. Like, I don't have too much experience. I've never played a Tekken game, but as far as, like, the 3D transition, like, what 3D fighters do you guys like? Or, like, would that like a Last Blade transition, would it be like more like Soul Calibur, or would it be, or like 3D fighter games like that?
I don't know.
I guess we got to mention, weapons based specifically. Are they more like the stride, and then you get moving around the medium and then attacking? Are they less combo based, or?
I don't know.
Because I don't like that. Oh, PC.
That's all.
I mean, if it's go ahead, Sal.
No, they're fucking button mashers. That's the way I look at them. I only see like Street Fighter and maybe I do like Tekken a lot. I grew up with Tekken is one of the few series I've actually played, and then Virtua Fighter. Virtua Fighter is very hard, it's very very skill based. But that fucking tapping the fucking button bullshit, it's cute on certain games, but that shit is too tiring. Because Capcom was killing that shit, with that fucking free fucking combos and all that. I can't stand games like that. That's why I never got into Soul Calibur. And I'm a big fighting game fan. If I don't get into it, that shit ain't that fucking great. It's just work. I like the old school Street Fighter, King of Fighters S type stuff, and they can do a 3D fighter that plays like 2D, because if you look at a game like King of Fighters 2006, well, the graphics weren't that great. The gameplay was really good. It played like a 2D King of Fighters, so they can do it. If it plays like that, I can deal with the 3D bullshit. But I'm not here to go fucking tapping buttons left, right, how fast my fingers. I ain't doing that bullshit. I can't memorize shit. That's my fault.
Yeah.
You know what I gotta say about Soul Calibur? I'm just like Sal. I like just old school 2D fighters. I just think they're superior. They're just something the way you react, just watching frames of animation and striking. That is where I grew up. But I will say this: for Matza, you're talking about Soul Calibur. My first 3D game that I actually liked, that I really got into, was Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, and I didn't think I would like it because I wasn't a fan of like Soul Blade, which was the precursor on PlayStation, so much. Because I was just like, it's like it's just a butt masher. It's just the same. It looks pretty, and that's it. It looked pretty. But I think that game, actually, a lot of me and my fighting game buddies on my way back then, we got into it. We had our battles. It was actually pretty competitive. But that was about one of the few and only 3D games that I really kind of thought that could get onto the same level as like playing like a game like Street Fighter Alpha, even like the current Street Fighter. It was like really my skills against yours. Just kind of going at it. But that's Soul Calibur, for some reason, I don't know. The next game that came out, Soul Calibur 2, was like, it just kind of slipped. But the new games are okay. But that original game was actually pretty played. I thought it was.
Yeah.
Nice, yeah, because I enjoyed Soul Calibur 5 for what it was, but it was basically all you do is just move to the left, move to the right, get out of their plane. When they sweep, just button mash and just counter the hell out of them. And I like it, but then again, I'm the same way with you, Jared. If I want to see a new Last Blade, I'd rather it be the HD 2D animation style.
Yes.
And even going back to when I got that AES, it came with Samurai Showdown 2. And Last Blade I really like, and it's got, it's weapons based, but it's got more of that fast paced action like the Real Bout series. But it took me I played the AES Samurai Showdown for probably a month straight. And probably the first couple of days I had to readjust because especially the slow pace, just that counter picking to Samurai Showdown. It really get into it that's it's a different. It really is a different style of gameplay, and it really is good. But you got to adjust back to it. So I'm just either way. Even if you compare the old Samurai Showdowns to Soul Calibur, I guess overall it's still just 2D. I would like the series to make a comeback, but if both of them are going to be 3D, it does kind of have me worried for a little bit. But then again, if SNK is going to go, if they've been biding their time to make these releases, hopefully it'll be something special.
Yeah, right. All they need to do is just do the King of Fighters 13 round. Just make Last Blade just like that. It's like you got good, you're on the right track. Just make something like that, 2D, high res.
Jared.
Splitting characters. That's all they need to do.
Jared, they're never going to give you exactly what you want, man.
I know.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen.
I know.
Dreams.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And
I
just
know. Hey,
wait. And Jared, I need $5 from you because you told me to buy that shitty ass Samurai Showdown game for the 360, man. I need my money. That game, listen to me. I play fighting games just like Sal, and I will give almost anything a try. But that game is fucking terrible.
It is. But, okay, but the thing is, though, PC, it is terrible. But say, hey, so was Buster Douglas. Hey, 5 years from now, you're going to be
Hey, wait. But I got, listen to me, Jared. But I got $400 for Buster Douglas. Listen to me. If I trade in Samurai Showdown, they're gonna look at it and then toss that shit in the trash. I need my money. I need my $5. Next time we talk, PayPal.
Think about the future. Think about the future. It might be crappy now, but yeah. But think about it.
That game is horrible. I mean, a lot of the Samurai shooting, most of them were just garbage. And the fact that I think it was at Samurai Showdown Zen or something like that. Is it for 360? That is just so garbage. I'm like, you're like, yeah, I'm gonna go out and try it. I'm like, he's gonna have a fucking rude awakening. I'm like, shit. I'm like,
that was because of Jared. That was because of Jared.
Yeah, I don't know.
Check it out though. Okay,
go ahead, pick it down.
The Neo Geo 64 in the arcade, that was like, to me, one of the most horrible systems ever used by SNK. They had yeah, it was terrible. I mean, seriously, they tried to do a polygon thing and it just fell apart. You know, but but think about it. Neo Geo 64. I mean, some of those games are worth a lot. You know what I mean, so it's not that necessarily the game is good. I know the game's crap, PC, but if you have it, I would just hang on to it because
I am.
You're not gonna see that again. I have
Jared, I have no choice but to hang on to it.
Sorry, man.
I have no choice but to hang on to it.
The fucker jumped right out the trash can and said, "No, motherfucker," and held fucking PC at hostage.
I have no choice but to hold on to that damn thing.
I'm sorry, man. Hey, check it out. I'll get you like a combo meal at McDonald's or something.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that.
Certificate or something, man. So make pain go away.
I would definitely appreciate that. Because that was trash.
I didn't even know they made those 3D fighters. SNK was.
Go look it up.
Until that point, you've been doing. I mentioned that 64. I'm talking about the 3D. I'm talking about the last Blade 3D and the New King of Fighters being 3D. I'm having flashbacks to, what was it, Fatal Fury, Wild Ambition.
I got that.
I'm having flashbacks to that.
No. That was actually better than the Samurai Showdown one that I got.
Yes, he's actually right on that. Because the PlayStation version that I have of it is a garbage port of it. But the actual, I've seen it in motion. The graphics are absolutely terrible. But believe it or not, the game is actually very likable. It just looks terrible compared to games like Tekken and Virtua Fighter 2 that were out at that time. But yeah, graphically it's garbage, but the gameplay on it is actually one of the few decent games on it. Samurai Showdown and all that type of stuff is kind of like sketchy, but Wild Ambition actually has some merit to it. Not a lot, but it has some merit.
Yeah, it's another Neo Geo 64 port, basically. It's another Neo Geo 64 game. And none of those games were at all. I mean, especially on 64. And that's what that game is. Kind of reminds me of like an update to that game. And it's not really, none of those games are great, in my opinion.
That's one of the reasons why they went back to. I think they were trying to dabble with 64 shit to kind of wean themselves off of the 2D shit. Then they realized that, no, this is not working out for them. And then they scrapped the whole thing because they were actually trying to move forward. But I don't think they understood the hardware and the technology because the programmers and designers were probably so ingrained at the time that 3D was just new, and they just didn't understand it. That's why when they put the ad out for their the newer games that they're coming out with, they wanted people who were experienced. They wanted like a resume, fucking like down to the fucking floor because they knew the past experience with the 64 was a disaster, and they don't want to pump money into all this software and stuff for these next systems. But yeah, they knew. That's why they were looking for like really high developed programmers and 3D model artists. That's what they were also looking for to make
what
these
SNK
games.
should have did. Yeah, what SNK should have did back in the day instead of bring out the Neo Geo 64 was they should have just licensed their software company, like Namco, made games on that.
Yeah, possibly. I mean,
arcade hardware instead. That's the way I look at it. Yeah. So.
I can't hold them for it because they were trying to dabble in what was popular at the time, and it's still technically popular today. I mean, I can't fault them for it, but it's just like it just wasn't their I guess their shtick type of thing. It was just not for them. 2D is where they excelled, and then they realized that because they probably didn't have a lot of people who were really special, and they figure, oh well, if they can design 2D games, they should be able to do 3D, which is not necessarily the case. But I mean, I don't fault them for trying. It was just an F for execution, but an A for effort, maybe. So yeah, they dropped that really quickly, and I don't even remember seeing any of those games in the arcade. I don't even remember them. So
yeah, there was one arcade that I remember that actually had those Neo Geo 64 games. It was just not. It just didn't work. It was just like they were trying to jump on the 3D bandwagon, and it just didn't work. So.
Yeah. What a fucking chase drop.
You fucking drop. I don't know what happened.
There he goes.
What's up?
Hey, yeah, sorry, got kicked.
I get you to buy you an internet for Christmas or something. Right. I tired. He should sleep in the background. But the thing is, but hosting that game is really bad. I've seen the reviews, and I knew as soon as that was coming to the 360, I was like, yeah, that's. I didn't have the heart to tell you. I'm like, Jared's like, oh, and I'm like, you'll fucking hate Jared.
Oh yeah. Jared lost some cool points. Jared lost cool points.
There was a bounty out of his head and shit. Yeah. So,
yeah.
But yeah, the thing is that we'll see what happens. I mean, I don't know what's going to happen with the consoles and stuff, but there is no passion in gaming. Like I said, I like the Wii so far, but I haven't really been playing a lot of games. Like I got like DuckTales and all for it, and what else? The Mario Kart 8 and the Tatsunoko and a couple other games like the Ninja Gaiden game I got for it. A couple things. I try to get in. Try and buy as much games up and all for it and all. But I'm still giving it like a year or so to see what happens. I hope that Nintendo starts producing at least give me another 5 to 10 halfway decent games, and I'll just keep on holding on to the system. But if I feel they're giving me bare bone bullshit, then I'll definitely get rid of it because I don't want to hold on to a system that's I just need for fucking Netflix. I mean, shit, I can get that anywhere.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's just my whole thing with Wii U. And if they do what they have to do, they'll still make themselves relevant, but they've got to put out the product because nobody wants to support them, but like the redheaded stepchild this go around, and therefore they have to push product because otherwise, and if they're going, then you may as well just close up shop. We'll be just talking completely about retro gaming. There won't even be one hint or iota of anything modern. So, it's we'll see how it happens. You got to at least give them another year. So, and we'll see from there.
True. Well, man, with that, guys, we're gonna close it out. It's going on 2 hours and 14 minutes. You guys gonna do your sign offs? We'll start with Batsa. Go ahead, man.
No, man, just Chase Batsa brand. Just good to talk to you guys again. Certainly a little long-winded, but some good points, good to bullshit again.
All right. Jared, go ahead, man.
Yeah, same man. I'm just glad. I'm glad Botsa came around and kind of initiated some of our chat because he was like, "What's going on, man? I want to get a podcast going. What's going on?" So I'm glad he was able to come out. Help us kind of get out. I know how busy we are, especially in PC, and we all got different schedules, so it's really good to listen to talk to you guys, man. That's really made my day.
All right, and Sal, go ahead, man.
Yeah, it was really nice talking to you guys. It's a shame the sound thing is fucking up. It sounds like a whole bunch of wind. And the thing is that it's always great talking to you guys and all because, it's just our diverse backgrounds and it makes it a pleasure to have a conversation. But yeah, it's great having this thing back on the podcast.
All right, and same thing, everything, same thing goes for me, guys. Just want to say thank you guys for joining us. Thank you to Sal, Botsa, and Jared for, initiating the podcast. And I hope you guys look forward to more. So this is PC. I'm signing off, man.